Hello, Paige. I've tried to reach you a few times by email to see if there was any area in your life you wanted to focus on. Because although you said you wanted to end cycles, that's what the Akashic record reading does. It ends cycles, but usually there are challenges in life that you would like to overcome the most. However, I will be able to work with you today with using your photo from your profile on Etsy, and I will ask guidance to show me what they consider the most important areas to look at this moment in time. I have already started to work with you. Before starting this recording, I had to check that your high self and committees were up to date with the latest information of this universe, basically, and this incarnation, and also to check that they're not blocked. And unfortunately, they were not actually doing so well. They weren't serving you in the greatest way possible, so I asked for their upgrade. It sounds a little bit of a strange language, but just bear with me, and the more you listen to this, the more it will resonate with you. But I just wanted to let you know that so far you haven't really received adequate support for this incarnation. We are all incarnated with a group of beings that help us, even though of course we have total free will in the choices we make. We also have a support that we receive, so it wasn't doing so good. Excuse my throat, it's a little bit husky today. Okay, so I'm going to now, with this new high self, I'm going to ask them what it is that you need. So first, theme and challenge, please. They're actually telling me that relationships is really important to look at. Now, although this reading was more to do with focusing on you, if your guidance is telling me that relationships is important, I'm going to have to trust that. So, okay, what we need to look at now, they're going to go straight into a lifetime. Okay, so we're going into past lives. Now, throughout the reading, you're going to hear this kind of sound of pages turning, and it's because I have a blueprint of the Akashic records in basically a file, in a group of charts in front of me, and that's what I'm researching. My guidance is showing me where on the Akashic records we need release. Okay. So, okay, past life. Okay, who were you in the past life? Just saying a friend. Let's just check here. What's the program? Okay, so this is an inheritance program. So when it's an inheritance program, it means it's been had many cycles that actually are no longer necessary to repeat because you actually already learned the lesson too many times. Okay, so let's have a look here. So you were a friend of a female. Okay, was she a priestess? Okay, we have to check. Yeah, she was a priestess. Is this correct? Yes. Okay, you were a friend of a priestess. Were you a priestess yourself? Saying no. Are you lying or hiding anything? No. Sometimes I have to check that the soul, as in you, is not hiding something that it considers painful. So when I'm asking that, that's what I'm doing. Okay. So there was a priestess and you were a friend. Anyone else involved? The husband, who was a religious figure and partner to the priestess. Is this correct? Yes. Anyone else involved? Okay. Was there hurt or harm? Yes. Mental, emotional. There was physical harm. Who harmed who? The husband harmed you. Okay. Okay. Why did he harm you? Okay, so he was sexually promiscuous and he betrayed his partner. Is this correct? Yes. Okay. And So you obviously harmed both the priestess and you. Did you harm anyone back? No. Okay. So I'm going to release the energies from that lifetime. So from you, look. It says here you were ill. I'm wondering why. Why did she have illness? From the adultery. Okay, so obviously he passed on an illness to you. Sexual illness? Yes. Okay. Did he pass on to his wife also? No, he passed on to you. Okay, anything else? Did you die from it? Were you physically harmed? Yes. So you became ill from this affair you had with him. Anyone else? Okay. And what's to clear from him? The sexual promiscuity. And from the priestess, the betrayal, the betrayal of a friend. Okay. What is the main energy that you're repeating lifetime after lifetime? You're learning all aspects to do with betrayal and men. Okay, so what happens is when there's been a betrayal, you will go through lifetimes experiencing both sides of the story. So whether it's going to be you betraying someone or them betraying you or your friend betraying, like this, it'll keep jumping so that you can learn from the situation and also resolve the energies. So you've been doing that for many cycles. Anything else? Okay. What's the main thing it's blocking? Involvement with love. And so it's blocking you from having a truly, shall we say, a high frequency love relationship. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Do we need to know the period of time? Yes. Yes? Okay, how many years ago? Hundreds? Thousands? Okay, the root life, please. Hundreds? Thousands? Okay, so the root life is quite some time ago. It's definitely Earth. Okay, is it 1,000, 2,000, 100, 200, 300, 2,300 years ago. Okay, so this is a long time ago when it comes to Earth karma. Okay, where are we looking at? West, Egypt, around there, Europe, East. Okay, so it's in Africa. This is correct. It's not Egypt though. Okay. So the area we're looking at is Africa. It's saying not Egypt. So it's somewhere near there. Is it south? Near Egypt. Okay. She in Africa. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Anything else she needs to know? Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. So we need to release the soul program. Now the soul program is what you hold in the body. So each time you incarnate, these programs are the trauma memories of the body. Okay? Now, it's different to the Akashic Records because with the Akashic Records you can ask to clear the Akashic Records, but when it's a soul program, only the soul can say it's ready for the release of that. Okay? It's the trauma. So it's the actual promiscuity and the illness that you had after that experience, okay? Actually, I should ask, because it was such a long time ago, I want to ask if you had any religious beliefs. Yes, especially him being a religious figure. Did you have any religious beliefs that the illness was due to your betrayal? Yes. What was the religious belief? That the sexual promiscuity was the anger and separation from the divine. Okay? You felt that you were being punished for that. Okay? Alright. Is that all we need to know from that? Okay, anything else? Okay. Is it definitely clear? The illness trauma cleared from the soul? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. So you have some guardian angels that were blocking. They normally block when there is pain. So look out. The brain damage from the illness. Okay, so the guardian angels sometimes protect when a situation is so painful for you, so that you don't have to endure that pain all the time. And when we say brain damage, it doesn't mean you literally were brain damaged physically. It just means that your thoughts were consumed with negative thought patterns regarding the illness, and it's being carried over. Okay, so we can now thank the guardian angels and ask that they no longer need to protect you for that particular issue. Is this done? Okay, that's wonderful that they did that, because that would have made lifetimes very hard to cope with if you were always in this heightened state of painful trauma memories in the body. Okay, let's go on to the next one. How to change your life. Okay, so we have, is it how to change your life? Yes. Just double check. Let's draw in some energy. Are we dealing with vows and contracts? Yeah. Okay, so you have some beings of God consciousness blocking. These beings are involved with karmic vows and contracts through all lifetimes, through all dimensions of time, past, present, future, it doesn't matter, everywhere. They hold those vows and contracts that you've made, that you've agreed to. How many are we looking at? 1, 2, 3 of them. Okay. So the first one is to annihilate evil. Now, the problem with choosing to annihilate evil, or anything that is considered a lower force, shall we say, is that you end up fighting in the same way that they're fighting back. So nothing ever gets resolved. You're just part of the problem. Do you understand? You are part of the problem. So that does not serve you, to annihilate, to go into that energy. Okay. Anything else? You have a vow of achievement. Is that correct? Subservience. Outside, inside, purity. It's a subservience to what? Subservience to achievement. Is this correct? No, sorry. Achievement is one, and subservience to whom, please? To soul family, okay. Right. So, subservience is like a codependency. Subservience is basically often to do with suffering for your soul family or putting them first, okay? And originally you create such a contract because you think it's going to help them or support them, but in the end it backfires because they don't take responsibility for their own path, for their own soul growth, okay? You're kind of doing it for them. Achievement, you think that's a strange one. Well, achievement can be a problem, especially if you've made lots of vows of different types of achievement, because they start to conflict with each other. And then basically you get confused as to what it is exactly that you want to do. And also, achievement is also not being open to the highest good for you, because you have a very fixed idea of what achievement is. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, really life is more like a curve, and it's not this straight path from A to B, like, I don't know how to put it. how the capitalist thinking would let us believe that we have this perfect straight path, that if we do everything correctly, we're going to reach this level of achievement. It doesn't quite work like that. So if we then fail or we feel like we're not reaching this achievement, then we suffer, okay? And we take it very personally, like we've done something terribly wrong. When a lot of the times we're learning and growing, and there's lots of lessons in actually sometimes not always getting what you want. Okay, so it's about being open to your highest good and being able to be flexible and open rather than being rigid, okay? So is it to release all these? Okay, so I'm going to first start this process for you, and then I'm going to send you in the email the words to repeat, okay? Okay. Okay. I now rescind on behalf of Paige. Please do this vow, contract, and agreement release that I send you by email, because you can only really seal it when you yourself say the words, okay? But because you're not here with me today, I'll start it for you, okay? I now rescind on behalf of Paige all vows, contracts, and agreements and heart vows to be subservient to soul family, to achieve, and to annihilate evil. Okay. I now declare these vows, contracts, agreements, and heart vows null and void in this incarnation, in all incarnations across space and time, in all parallel realities, parallel universes, alternate realities, alternate universes, all planetary systems, all source systems, all dimensions, and the void. Okay. Please clear and release all programs, trauma patterns, trauma bodies, blocks and interference, shock patterns, negative emotional response patterns, devices, structures, attachments, coding, inhibitors, karmic matrices, resonance and effects associated with these vows, contracts, and agreements. I ask that these all be cleared and removed now. May Paige now forgive herself, and may she choose her path with freedom and love. Okay, it's done. Okay. All right. So they're going to look into specifically the area of achievement, because there were some negative energies attached to those. So it's appeasement. What are you appeasing? What's she appeasing to, please? To envy, to frustration, to greed. This is across all lifetimes, okay? To greed, hate of men, hate of women, to ego, no, outside, inside, and doubt, okay. So these energies are being released because this vow, contract, and agreement has been released, okay? So it's like, it's just working on the energies that were attached to that. We have hundreds and thousands upon lifetimes, and this way of working is to release many all in one go, okay? And basically get it at the root, instead of researching every single life where you've actually done that thing, okay? And now you're getting some healing from a spiritual healing committee. And what are they healing? Oh no, they're actually giving you I thought they were healing, but in fact, they're actually giving you a kind of encouragement, a kind of a push forward in the direction of purpose, okay. Okay. Is this a theme we're covering now? Yes, okay. And involvement with the divine, okay? So they want you to have a greater connection to the divine. Okay, so do we go into archetypes now? No. They're giving you another push also towards involvement with love. Okay. Are we talking about relationships here? No, just okay, not just love. It's not just love, because love is immense, but you know what I mean. They're also giving you this. Okay. How to change your life. First, to replace worry and let go of the old. Okay, so it's very important after this work done today to just take some time out to just release the worry and trust that this old is being let go of. The process takes about 3 weeks. In about 3 weeks' time, I'd like to hear from you, and if not, I will write to you to ask how you are doing, just to check that you've noticed a shift of some sort, that you are aware of this, okay? So in that time, you'd be letting go of the old, and in that time, in this 3 weeks, try and release any worries that you have, okay? It's very important to just take a break from those. They're actually adding taking a break, okay? Very important to take a break. So no more trying to fix or plan or work out what the next move is. Just to have a break. Okay. So I want to release another major program. Okay, what is it? Outside, inside? Of escaping. Is it escaping? What is she escaping? Your purpose. Okay. Okay, so that was another major theme that's been following you, is escaping your purpose. What was the reason why she was trying to escape? Because of basically not having a deep love of self. Okay. Underneath everything, this is something I really like to work with people, because love of self is crucial for any movement in life. We can ask for help and support with clearing past lives and other lives, but still, if we don't understand how to love ourselves, okay, then we will continue to make the same mistakes again. We'll just create the same issues to resolve, okay? So you're escaping your purpose. You didn't really have a strong sense of love for yourself. Is this correct? Okay. And also when it came to your intimate relationships, you had depression. Okay. So let's clear this. Nothing more. Okay. How does the relationship issues affect her purpose, please? Could they put it together? Okay. Because it's also creating a betrayal of self, okay? And how does she betray herself? It's a betrayal of self. Why? Doubt of self, depression, hate of man, hate of self. Okay, all right. Please, can we just stick to, at the moment, if we can just stick to the purpose, her purpose, please. Okay. So they've jumped here, which is interesting because there's actually a block in the body. Is it still related to her purpose? Yes. Okay, so let's go and do that first. They're asking me to clear programs from your heart. Okay, now I understand. Okay, because if your heart is closed and it's hurt, it can't trust in your purpose. Okay, and it certainly can't love oneself. Okay, if we close our heart down. Okay, so what programs do I clear from the heart, please? Ask for clearing. Blocks 2. Involvement with love. Okay. Anything more? Yes. The betrayal energies through all lifetimes too, and giving and receiving. Okay. Anything more? Anything more? All right. I'll just check now. What's the degree of function? The degree of functioning of the heart now, please. 100. Okay, so the heart programs are released. Any more? Okay, we can now go to the purpose. Is this correct? Yes. Finally. Okay, good. Here we are. So I already know from asking before that you need to align to the liberator. Now, the liberator. Most people, when they think of the liberator, they think of someone who is working with the masses on a large scale. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're going to do. So it's not like you're going to turn into Martin Luther King. You may do, for all I know, you may do actually do that work with masses of people, maybe even through the internet. That's hard to know where you will take this at this point, but it's important for you to understand that the liberator begins with helping people release themselves from beliefs, okay, and that hold them back. Okay, I'm going to say, can you give us more information on how she will work? Yes. So you're liberating people from okay, sadism. This is how strong. Sadism towards the self. Okay, is this correct? Okay, so we're talking about more of this. We're not talking about emancipation from life situations. We're talking about actually how we treat ourselves. Okay, but let's not undervalue that. But because if we all were able to love ourselves, there wouldn't be the wars. There wouldn't be the catastrophe that's on our planet at the moment. Because with love of self, we follow the truth of our heart, and we can only make decisions that are for the highest good for all involved. Okay, so that's why sometimes trying to change the world, sometimes some of the liberators can only work to a certain point, because when they die, then everyone goes back to the way they were before. So I definitely understand that a liberator that teaches you how to free yourself first has a much greater impact in the long run. Okay. So you're helping people release the sadism towards self. Anything else? And the stinginess towards self. Now, stinginess is something that I've personally been working with on my own path to self-love. And I find that when we are stingy towards ourselves, what's happening is that it's manifesting on the outside. Okay, and it might come in my case, when I was overcoming this part of lack of self-love, the stinginess came as money problems, okay, and also stinginess from partners. So the deeper I was able to break through the layers of this hatred of self, then I was able to manifest deeper relationships and more prosperity in my life. So in your case, those are the two main energies you want to work with people as a liberator. Anything else? Okay. just check something here. Okay. Does she have conflicting archetypes? Okay. So archetypes are universal patterns. So we understand them as through myths and storytelling. But on level of the soul, it's a universal pattern. And sometimes we choose to particularly align to one pattern when we incarnate. Okay. They're saying there are some conflicting archetypes. There's very likely to be a shadow archetype, so I'm going to check that too. So let's have a look if there's anything. Are we looking at the conflicting ones first? Yes. Okay, so what you have is a masochistic archetype. So here you are. This is your greatest learning curve, because until you overcome that, you can't work as a liberator, right? Because that your teaching is to not be sadistic towards self, which actually that's what that means is masochism, right? Is that correct? I wonder why. I'm curious why they separated it. Okay, so the reason why guidance separated it before as sadism towards self is because what happens is we split. So we have this identity that we are, or who we believe we are, and then of course then there is the self, our divine self. However, when that identity starts to react, it hurts the true self, okay? It starts to sabotage your connection with your true self. And it actually begins to damage, okay? Begins to damage that. So even though the true self is, of course, on one level indestructible, our thought patterns, our habits, our choices do have a karmic effect on our energy bodies, on the memories, what we call the mind grid level. The mind grid level is all the mental energy that we all connect to as one. So you'll have like the mind grid is damaged from this thinking, okay? So you've got the masochist because you hurt yourself. In doing that, you hurt yourself, okay? So let's go on to find the others that are in conflict with your liberator. Okay. Here. Okay, so you've got one called the Redeemer. I don't know too much about the Redeemer, so I'm just going to check about this particular archetype. Okay, the Redeemer is like the Savior, okay? It's the Messiah. Now, that's interesting because of what I said earlier, that sometimes what happens is, say, for example, someone will think of, say, a guru as their Redeemer, okay, but they're not making their own. Let's not use a guru. Let's think of someone like Gandhi. People look at Gandhi and say liberator, but I would also say that in the end it became more like a redeemer, because like what I said to you before, that when that person dies, then you no longer have that person to convince others to make these changes, these positive changes in their life. So the problem with the Redeemer is that, okay, you go on this mission. And also, what does it mean also is sometimes the Redeemer will think that it knows better than others, because it can become this kind of Messiah, and that can also go wrong. So let's have a look here, what else they say about this. Okay, so it says here, the messianic complex applies also to a person who is convinced of his divine mission and becomes obsessed to the point of psychosis, reaching an extreme, okay? Directing them to take an action that actually hurts rather than helps. So that's the shadow side, okay? So in your case, what were the negative energies on the Redeemer? The betrayal. Ah, interesting. So probably in, what's happened is in lifetimes where you have chosen to be the Redeemer, it maybe started off with a good intention, but in the end you betrayed the very people that you were saving, okay? So the Liberator is a much, much more authentic energy to align to. Okay, is this correct? Anything else? So that Redeemer was in the shadow. Okay. So obviously your soul really wants this transformation because it's learned through these lifetimes where it's made these mistakes but wants to align to helping people help themselves. Okay? Has learned that it doesn't work to help others for them. Okay? So it's doing some clearing as I'm talking, so there's quite a lot going on here. Alright. Okay, can we move on? Yes. Okay. Any more in conflict? So we're going to ask to release these. Okay. So I'm going to see which is the best release for you. I'm going to use a much higher release because these are quite, shall we say, entrenched. Okay. So let me see which one is the best. Okay, so it's giving you the highest release that you can receive, and that is the karmic dispensation. These are gifts that are given when there seems to be no answer and it has been resistance to previous, shall we say, resolution of karma. It just persists. So I'm going to make sure that the Redeemer and the masochist doesn't rebuild itself again. Okay? Is this correct? Right. Anything more to say? Right. Okay. Alright. I ask to speak with the Divine Director, Nada, the Lords of Karma, and the Karmic Board. Okay. I make this request for Paige, her Divine Feminine, their union, total union, and ascension. I ask for full karmic dispensation and release from the archetype of the masochist and the shadow Redeemer. From Earth and all other planets and between them, from all lifetimes and between them, and from all sources, through all multi-dimensions and between them, of her multidimensional being. I ask for this healing, fully, completely, permanently and forever, through all the levels and components of her being, all connections, all dimensions, all systems and between them, of and between all dimensions of her multidimensional being, immediately and instantly, past, present, future, and now. Thank you, Lords of Karma, Divine Director, Nada, and the Karmic Board. Just letting that finish. Is this complete? Yes, yes. Okay. Do we need to align to the Liberator more? Yes. Do I ask for a request? Yes. Is it Earth or off Earth? Okay. Karmic renewal, is this correct? Okay, so there's another high release. Okay. I ask to speak with the Divine Director, Nada, Lords of Karma, and the Karmic Board. I make this request for Paige, her Divine Feminine, feminine, their union, total union, and ascension. I ask to create karmic renewal for all the gifts that have been withdrawn from her or lost to her from all sources and for all reasons. I ask to create karmic renewal for harmony in her life and relationships. And I ask to create karmic renewal for her soul archetype of the liberator on earth and all of the planets and between them, for this lifetime or lifetimes and between them, through all multi-dimensions and between them of her multi-dimensional being. I ask for this healing fully, completely, permanently and forever through all the levels, components, connections, systems, dimensions and between them of her multi-dimensional being, immediately and instantly, past, present, future, and now. Thank you, Lords of Karma, Nada, Divine Director, and the Karmic Board. This complete thank you. When you're hearing these two high releases, please remember to say thank you to them. They are very particular and they do like to be thanked, okay? So remember to do that. This is your karmic board are giving you this amazing dispensation and renewal, and it's very beautiful to receive those. They're not always granted, okay? They're very rare. Okay. All right, let's grab some more water. Okay. It's going back to how to change your life. Accepting and acting as if. So you accept and then you behave as if it's already happened. That the spiritual kick for involvement with love is in place, okay? Why does she need to act as if? For the soul quality, let's have a look. For involvement with freedom. So it's like basically what's happening here is by accepting and acting as if it's already happening, you meet your support you're receiving halfway. So you're meeting them in the middle, if you know what I mean. Instead of just closing yourself off to that support, you're saying, okay, come and get me. I know this is already been granted, so I open my heart to it. Thank you. Okay, it's like that. I know it's difficult to do sometimes, to really trust that. Any advice, please, here? Just accept love. Yeah. Just if you can even say it, accept love. Just I accept love, and definitely open your heart. Actually, one time I saw an interesting clip that Teal Swan does on YouTube, and she had this kind of heart-opening sequence. And you kind of have this position, and you first circle over your heart with your hand, and you open your chest up and open your arms out, and you allow yourself to receive. And I actually tried this a couple of times, and it was very, very powerful, especially if your heart is shut down for a very long time. So do check it out. I reckon this will help you sort of open to receive and accept the support that you've received, that has been given. Okay. All right. Oh, they're telling me something else. I missed something apparently. And to get into the joy, okay? Because you can't resolve any life situations when you are connecting with the opposite. Okay, it's very hard to especially make a clear decision or make a change in one's life when we are aligning to the opposite of joy. Sometimes we don't realize we're doing it because we may be making a personal effort on a physical level. We think we're doing our best, and it's not about not doing your best, you see. It's different to that. It's actually recognizing that when you focus on what is not joy, that energy that then keeps you very trapped. Okay, so if you can step slowly into joy, it can be the most simplest thing, pleasurable. There's been a lot of misinformation through religions, especially religions that have caste systems, where they tell us that there's something wrong to have desire. But that was mostly to keep everyone under a kind of religious caste level. And so connect to your desire, connect to your joy. True desire comes from joy. I'm not saying to connect to the desire that comes with greed. So I don't mean that. I mean joy to even remember. I mean, it's like when you see children and you ask them what they want to be, they have no, when they're older, they don't have any limitations. They'll just say something really beautiful, like, I want to be an astronaut. It's not about being naive. It's just because at that point they haven't had perhaps enough damage to distrust that they could choose to do anything they want, you see. And so it's very beautiful. As long as we don't get trapped with this concept of achievement, we can just put it out there and see what comes, okay? So get into your joy, and that will draw, they're saying that will draw energy to you, okay? Especially when we've had trauma in the body, that blocks the energy from coming in, okay? So we're not working at our full capacity, shall we say. They're giving you another spiritual kick to overcome the hate of life. Okay. In which way is she blocked towards life? The escapism. It's more to do with escapism. Anything else? And discouragement. Okay. And what? Oh, there was something else. And bitterness towards life for unhappiness. Okay. For the experiences where you've had unhappiness. Okay. So shall we do a forgiveness release? So this is also something else I'm going to be sending to you, an actual forgiveness release towards life itself. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, so really center, because forgiveness release really does require quite a deep centering. So really connect with your heart, connect with your belly, okay? And you are saying this to life, okay? So I'm going to say it for you the first time, okay? Because this will help you repeat the words after me, okay? I bless you, life, and I release you, life, and I thank you for your service to me. I ask for your forgiveness for any past perceived harm, including discouragement and escapism and bitterness. I now forgive you for any past perceived harm, including hate of life, ego, fear, can't seem to get the last one, just bear with me. And appeasement to anger. I now give back everything that does not belong to me, including escapism, anger, bitterness, appeasement to anger, discouragement, ego, hate of men, hate of self, frustration, greed, hate of life, and spiritual suicide. Okay. Just clearing this. Hold on. I now take back everything that does belong to me and is in my highest and best good, including life, faith, forgiveness, freedom, and worthiness. I forgive myself. I release my life to the care of the divine. I understand now that life was the perfect learning partner for me. Okay. Okay. But the addiction to doubt and fear and appeasement to anger no longer serves. I give this back to the divine. This is complete. Okay, that was actually quite, the energy was very strong doing that. Normally I fly through this, but this one was quite tough. So you've been carrying a big burden, I can tell you that, okay? Definitely life, the experiences of incarnation for you have been very, very troubled. And of course, there's many, many souls that have had that. But there was a definite resistance to being in life again. Okay, is this correct? Anything else? You want to tell me that? Yeah, it was mostly the escapism energy. It was quite hard to convince your soul to come in and allow this. Okay, to give it another chance, to give life another chance. Is this correct? Is this correct? Okay. Okay. Okay, now they want to tell me something else. Okay. Okay, they want to tell me about a positive lifetime where you were a teacher. Okay. What was she teaching? You were teaching people about freedom. Okay. Actually, as I'm talking, I can actually feel this sense of peace. Okay. So we're actually onto something. So it looks like you have already worked as a liberator before, but there's been all this other energy and experiences that have blocked you since then. Okay, so let's work out here how long ago we're talking about. Okay, we're talking thousands of lifetimes ago. Okay. 2, 3, 4,000. 4,000. So now we're going back 4,000 years ago. Okay. Is this correct? Liberated archetype. Okay. What is the main reason why she lost this gift? Trauma. They're saying too many traumatic experiences. I mean, karma on Earth and the lifetimes on Earth have really changed. Definitely, since, I mean, if we're talking about 4,000 years ago, the Divine Feminine was very active then, that is for sure. And so we have entered into a darkness when it comes to our divine selves. And so these other lifetimes you've had on Earth have been traumatic, and you've lost a sense of who you truly are, okay? And you had this gift before, and now it's time to bring back this gift, okay? This identity that you've had, that you've escaped, that you're just not worthy enough, okay? It's just an illusion. That's not who your soul really is, and it's not the capacity that you have, okay? So this is a returning to who you once were, okay? And and also, you know, like I said, there is this split. There's the identity and the true self, and the true self still remembers, but it's had soul damage. So this work today definitely will repair a lot of that. Okay, so you were a teacher. Anything more to know about this? That you were very much loved for your awareness, okay? So you received also love for your awareness. Anything else? Okay, let me see if I can get some information about, a little bit more juicy information about the location. Okay, here. Okay, so here. Okay. Okay, so location. Sacrifice. Okay, it's interesting. It was a place that people practiced sacred sexuality. It says it also was a place of sacrifice. What do you mean by sacrifice in this case? What were they sacrificing? Is it here? Okay, when they mean sacrifice in this case, it's not like literally sacrificing people to death. They actually meant sacrificing as in giving up your earthly concerns in order to give your life to the divine. Okay, so what were they sacrificing exactly here? Your security and resources. Okay, so that's what was the main type of sacrificing. It was like, okay, let go of your security, your resources, enter into this path, okay? This path with the divine. There's definite sacred sexuality practices there. Okay, let's find out your relationships. There's a group of people. They receive, okay, so there's a group of people that are receiving from you. And who are you to them? Okay, who is she to them, please? Okay, is it here? Is it here? You're a leader of the group. Okay, that's all they're telling me here. So she's a teacher, she's a leader of the group. Is that correct? Okay. I'm just going through some other deeper charts here to get the full background of the story. Okay, right. So there's basically disciples around you. So you're a teacher and there are disciples. Okay, that makes more sense now. Is that correct? Okay. All right. Anything more here? Here. Mother. Is it mother? Is it here? Okay. Can you tell me why I cannot get that information? Okay, clear and remove her soul family. Attachments. Send divine and perfect place for beings. Thank you. Right. So, can we now get her role? Yes. So you are studying. It's almost like you're studying esoteric knowledge. Okay. Is there anything more to add to that? Yes. Okay, can we get it on this chart instead? Yes, okay. Doesn't look like the exact word was there, so I have to find it somewhere else. All right, okay. All right, so is it goddess work? Yes, okay. Right. All right, it just wasn't on these actual charts, this word, and I was trying to find a role, but they're trying to tell me that you are studying and teaching divine feminine work here, okay? Is that correct? Anything else? Okay. Oh, that's really beautiful, actually. Anything more to add? Okay, so it's very important to understand that you are helping people as a liberated capacity, but you have a very strong affinity to the divine feminine aspect, okay? So it's bringing that. The divine feminine is all about love, and divine feminine is all about self-love. Often people associate that way of thinking with Mary Magdalene. Whether she existed for real or not, I don't know, but it's the fact that the truth of who she is was distorted, and actually she represents self-love, okay? And so you might want to look into that. There's a lot of people who are connecting with that self-love energy at the moment, and her name is a representative of that. I'm just going to see if there's anything more I need to tell you. Let's see here. No. Okay, anything else to do before we close down? Maybe. Okay. Are you saying that she should do some meditation? Yes. So they also want you to actually, I don't know if you do meditation already, but to actually really use meditation as a way to receive support. And to be involved with the love of the divine. Okay, is this it? Okay. Clear miscellaneous. So what happens now is, although we've worked with those particular themes in your lifetimes, what I ask for is what is called a zero-time clear, and that is to clear as much as possible without researching. Okay, we don't need to know every hundred and thousands upon lives in order to experience a shift, but we just can know what's essential right now. So I'm asking for a background clear of everything else that can be done now. Okay. Clear miscellaneous, program not in charts, clear all charts and carry on up. Is mock-up complete? 100% yes. So I'm just going to check for sure that there's nothing holding before I close. Any more trauma patterns, negative emotion response patterns, shock patterns, openings, attachments, vows or contracts? No. Okay. Anything more to do? Anything more to know? Is she hiding or lying about anything? Are there programs she's not aware of? Any issues and challenges remaining? Any body memories? Memory impingements? Has the soul been cleared to the heart of spirit? Okay. Has the soul been cleared to the heart of spirit? Yes. Any more programs coming up? Is she free? Is the soul free? Okay. Thank you. Now, you didn't give me your age, so I wasn't able to check on the inner child. The inner child is like an aspect of one of our soul, shall we say. It's like another part of our soul energy body, and it particularly records this lifetime's, as you were growing up, the imprints that you've had. So I'll just check the age of the inner child. It's saying to me that your inner child is okay, but perhaps if you want to, once you've received this recording, if you want to actually finally send me your age, then I can absolutely check that to be 100% accurate, that there's nothing left in your childhood, in your upbringing that might, I mean, we've all had them. We've all had little childhood wounds. It can be simple things of just feeling rejected or just not feeling good enough. And I like to check on that usually, but I didn't get your age, unfortunately. So do let me know if you would like me to do that. It won't take me long. Okay. So Paige, I hope this has been helpful to you, and please let me know in 3 weeks' time how you are doing. Okay. Many blessings to you.